Welcome back to Radio Row in New Orleans. Of course, New Orleans hosting Super Bowl 59 featuring the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. We're at, of course, the New Orleans Convention Center. And our next guest is a gentleman that we love talking to just about each and every year now. He is Mike Silver, one of the top NFL insiders. Of course, he is working for The Athletic currently, and he's got a book out, The Why is Everything. And you were on our morning show, Sportsnet 650. With the guys. The Why is Everything, the book.
Yeah, you know, when I have a book out, I will talk to anyone on any continent happily about how awesome the book is, and that is the case with The Why is Everything, a story of football rivalry and revolution, available everywhere books are sold. It's about that McVay-Shanahan coaching crew and how they've changed the game, lots of pettiness. So, yeah, I got to talk to your morning guys. That one guy, Mike, really good guy.
Big fan of yours. Huge fan of yours.
Yeah, that guy was really cool. What was the
Jason.
The grumpy guy.
Yeah, that's Jason.
Yes. A little bit grumpy, that guy. Kind of liked him too, though. Against my better judgment, I did.
Hey, tell us about the genesis of the book. Why?
By the way, I might have been coaching up a little. I just want to, Jason,
maybe.
Nothing but love.
Just maybe.
The book is awesome. So it kind of starts with Mike Shanahan taking over as the 49er offensive coordinator in the early 90s with Steve Young, then going to Denver with John Elway, outside zone, comes in, merges with the West Coast offense. Now fast forward to the early 2010s in Washington. He's got a staff that has now NFL head coaches Kyle Shanahan, his son, Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur, Mike McDaniel, Raheem Morris, and together this group is not only changing the game but kind of doing it a different way where, you know, kind of old school football, it was very much like just do it because it works, and they didn't want players to even ask the purpose behind it if they even knew what they were teaching them at times. Not everyone, but this group wants to understand the intention and logic behind every single thing they do, and they want to be able to explain it to each other and the players so that the players can then have certainty when they execute it, and that's kind of their distinguishing characteristic. But as they've infiltrated the upper levels of football, you see a lot of fun clashes and ugliness amid the friendships, or in the case of Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan, as Raheem Morris puts it, they're enemy friends.
The Why is Everything, a book by Mike Silver, of course. Check it out anywhere. Chapters, Indigo, you name it, they'll probably have it there. And it's a beautiful cover, by the way. I like it. It's good. Story of football rivalry and revolution.
By the way, it should cost exactly what it is supposed to cost.
No. There 25% tariff.
There should be no tariff on this. That would be a grave mistake. And by the way, Canada, a sovereign nation, should absolutely remain that way.
Hey, you just sold 50 books.
I'll give them away at this point. I don't even know what to say. I'm a Californian, man.
Yeah, I know. We see. I follow you on Instagram. I see the Cal Bear games and all that. So
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Listen.
Hey, this Super Bowl this week, we were talking about it. You know what? You ever watched obviously you've seen Goodfellas, right?
Oh.
You know when Joe Pesci's about to get made? And
yes.
He's asking the guys, how many discs for you, Vinny? Right? That's what it feels like when you ask somebody, how many discs for you, Mike?
How about when De Niro finds out that there was a problem and then starts slamming the payphone?
He's gone. What do you mean he's gone? He's gone. There's nothing anyone can do about it.
There was a problem.
But, it's funny because it's kind of like the mob. And, once you come to these things, they just keep sucking you back in.
I don't know anything about that.
But it's
just from the movies.
It's funny, and I think we were talking about this on air, like at the start of the week. I go, oh, my God, this is going to be tough. But, through the week, you kind of get a little adrenaline rush. But the cool thing about it is you get to see everybody. We get to see you. We get to see other guys. Talk to Chris Myers. Doug Flutie came up. I mean, it's like a big family reunion in a way. It's
the convention of American pro football, and that's how I approach it and look at it. Now, I've done some work that I'm proud of here. I broke that story about the NFL taking end racism out of the end zone, which appears to be a nod to our current political climate, which, take that how you will. Mm-hmm. But that got some attention. I wrote about Howie Roseman, the gangster GM of the Eagles, and how he fought back after last season's disappointment, losing 6 of their last 7. And then I have a story out today on Travis Kelce that, talks about his unique way of preparation and why he is such a popular teammate, even as he is an international celebrity.
Mike Silver from The Athletic is our guest. Mike, when it comes to the game, what are some of the things that you're going to be looking at, maybe probably even writing about?
Great question. I covered the AFC Championship game, and I wrote the Mahomes story. I'm sorry. I know everyone is probably tired of it, but I just don't think we appreciate enough how crazy it is to have a guy who has had 7 seasons as a starter, and his 2 bad seasons were losing in overtime in the AFC Championship game. Once to Tom Brady when Dee Ford jumped offside and Mahomes never got the ball. Once to Joe Burrow. So, he's been to now 5 Super Bowls. He's won 3, maybe going on 4. And there's so many other great players right now at the quarterback position. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow among them. And yet, almost every time there's a big game, this guy just wins. So it's hard for me to imagine Mahomes not being an integral part of the story, but the Eagles have an incredible team, and I think it's going to be a great game.
Let me throw this one to you because I know you're a huge Joe Montana fan.
The biggest, yes, just like you.
We both know Joe pretty well, but you know him better than I do. Here's the thing. Who would you rather take in the clutch? Mahomes or Montana?
Well, I'm going to say Montana over everyone, always, forever. He's the most magical player of all time. He played in an era where it was a bit more challenging for quarterbacks. Defensive players could take 2 steps after he released the ball and still hit him.
They might hit him. They could slam him to the turf.
I saw it happen many times. Yeah. His receivers could get manhandled at the line in a way that they cannot now. A lot more contact was allowed. So, I think if you correct for eras, my case that Joe Montana remains the greatest of all time still is a strong one. Now, because of what Brady has done in terms of winning 7 Super Bowls, it's going to be an argument that I probably lose as I get older. And people who didn't even see him play are going to be like, what are you talking about? No. But we're witnessing something with Mahomes that is very much in that conversation.
This is interesting because it kind of reminds me of the old Tiger can he catch Nicholas when it comes to the majors thing, because you look where Mahomes is in his career, he's got 3 Super Bowls already. Does he catch Brady when it's all said and done?
I mean, he's only 29, so it's possible he could win his 4th Sunday, and then he's got a path to 7. But, a lot of things have to go right for a team to win a Super Bowl. And look at the margin, on some of these times where he has won these giant games. The Super Bowl 2 years ago against the Eagles was unbelievably close with a controversial defensive hold. Jalen Hurts played out of his mind. The game where they were down with 13 seconds to go to the Bills, and he somehow drove them for a tying field goal, and they won in overtime to stay alive. Last week's game against the Bills, very narrow margin. So it's just tough to just presume that more Super Bowls will come. On the other hand, the fact that we're even talking about it as plausible is wild. And look, Tyreek Hill was traded away, and everyone said, how are the Chiefs going to be without their speed threat and number 1 target? They have not lost a Super Bowl since and might make it 3 in a row.
Do you know what blows me away about this? When you talk about those great teams of the past, and the 49ers and the Cowboys, or, those dynasties that we saw, the Giants or the Redskins, none of those teams had to deal with a salary cap. That's what blows me away about Kansas City.
Yeah, well, the Patriots.
And the Patriots as well. Yeah. But, 7 straight championship games in a salary cap era.
Yeah, and, Travis Kelce's been a constant. Chris Jones has been a constant. Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes obviously have been a constant. But other than that, a lot of turnover. You saw Tyrann Mathieu at safety. You've seen Justin Reed. You've seen, their top corner on paper, or their top outside corner on paper, signed with the Titans after last season. There's been attrition. You saw Tom Bahali for a while, Dee Ford. It has cycled through, but with 15 and the guy dialing up the plays, both out there, maybe they'll just, keep doing it.
Who wins and why on Sunday?
Every time I have to get to this point in a big game involving Patrick Mahomes, I just decide, my analytics on Patrick Mahomes are he almost always wins important games. So, I don't know. I'm just going to pick Patrick Mahomes. I think it's a great test because the Eagles comprehensively have a better roster. That offensive line is incredible. Jalen Carter, you would say the Eagles have a better comprehensive roster, but coach and quarterback count. Massive advantage at head coach, in my opinion, to the Chiefs. And Jalen Hurts, if he plays like he did 2 years ago, it'll be less of an edge for Patrick Mahomes, but still advantage Patrick.
I heard somebody mention, I probably nailed it, if Philly's going to win this game, they're going to have probably at least a 2-score lead with maybe 5 minutes left. If it's a 1-score game and they get the ball last, you know what's going to happen. He's going to somehow find a way.
I mean, you never know, but I was with some Chiefs coaches out Tuesday night, and one of them said, I think we're going to win. I think it's going to be close, and I'm sure at some point we will be down by 10 or more. And everybody at the table laughed. I think they're in the acceptance stage.
Wow, that is pretty funny. All right, before we let you go, the book again.
The Why is Everything, a story of football rivalry revolution. I promise, even if you're not a hardcore football fan, you will be entertained and enlightened, or I will come to Canada and give you all the tariff money back that you shouldn't have had to pay.
Here's the thing. Maybe we'll bring you up for a book signing.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, bring you up for a book signing. You love Vancouver.
I will come to Vancouver for any reason, at any time. I might stay. That's the problem.
Hey, you can cover the CFL. Why not?
Hey, believe me, the thought has crossed my mind a time or 1,000 since 2016 or so.
And, of course, people can read you at The Athletic, correct?
At The Athletic. It's part of the New York Times bundle. You can get it through the New York Times. You can get it at The Athletic. We have a great staff. I work with the great Diana Rossini, our news-breaking dynamo, and, I'm proud to be part of that team.
Michael, thanks for doing this great stuff. Seeing you as usual, my friend, and we'll get you up to Vancouver sooner than later.
Thank you so much. And, Jason, you're actually not that grumpy, but it was fun to talk to you.